happy Monday, or if it's not Monday, happy whatever day of the week it is, whenever you're practicing. Today we're going to do a power vinyasa flow. So we're going to start, it's going to look sort of like a bell curve. So we're going to start out with a nice warm up, get ourselves good and warm. We're going to flow through some standing postures. We're going to start to take it back down. We're going to come into some balancing postures, and then we're going to end with some stretches. So as always, I want you to listen to your body, especially now when I can't be there to make adjustments or help cue based on what I'm noticing. I want you really to pay attention to how postures feel. So of course, go ahead and try something if you want to take it a little bit deeper, but if you start to take something a little bit deeper and then you notice something just doesn't feel right, please back it off. Give yourself permission, give yourself the gift of truly being present, and that means listening to your body. Okay, so I'm not going to play any music during this class, which leaves us a couple of options. Option number one is use your breath as the sound of your music. Just tune into your breath. Option number two, you can use your own music, or option number three, you can click the link for my Spotify and you can play that playlist. All right, let's go ahead and do this. Okay, so today's class we're going to start lying on our back. So go ahead and come down onto your back, and then we're going to come into Supta Baddha Konasana. So go ahead and bend your knees, bend and bring your knees out wide, and begin to walk your feet, your heels rather, in towards your hips. So if you're feeling, maybe you've worked out already today, and if you're feeling nice and open, you can go ahead and bring those heels in a little bit closer. But if you bring them in a little bit closer and it doesn't feel right, or if you're tight, this is the first movement you've done today, go ahead and walk your heels out a little bit further, and just make sure that your low back stays nice and flat on the mat. Go ahead and bring your left hand to your heart, your right hand to your belly, and take a nice deep inhale through your nose. Fill up with breath, and an open mouth. Empty out completely. And again through the nose, deeper, fuller inhale. Noticing how your chest rises, your belly rises, your ribs expand. And then an open mouth, exhale, melt into the mat, empty out completely. Let's take a couple more rounds here with your next deep, full inhale. Think about creating some space in your body, in your mind. And then with your open mouth, exhale, let go of anything that's weighing on your shoulders. And again, one more deepest, fullest inhale yet today. And the loudest, longest, open mouth exhale. Now seal your lips closed and continue to take those nice, deep breaths. Inhaling through the nose, drawing the breath down. Think of it coming down into your tailbone even. Then into your belly, into your lungs. Hold the breath at the top. And with your open mouth exhale, lips sealed, create that same fogging of the mirror type exhale as you would with your lips open. Couple more rounds here, slightly constricting the muscles in the back of your throat, creating that audible ocean-like waves, Darth Vader sound with your exhale. Maybe counting 4 or 5 with your inhale and matching that count with your exhale. And on your next inhale, just go ahead and blink your eyes open. Gently bring your knees in together to touch soles of the feet on the mat, And with an exhale, draw your knees in towards your chest and just give a couple rocks. Make little circles, rock side to side, anything that feels good to you. And if you're making circles, go ahead and stop, change directions, opposite direction. Continuing that slow, steady breath here. We'll all meet back at center. Go ahead and hug your right knee in, extend your left leg long, flex the left, all 10 toes back towards your knee. Press the back of the left leg into the mat and guide your right knee out, around your right rib cage and in towards your right shoulder. And as you do that, relax both shoulders down into their sockets and draw your elbows down towards your right heel. Take an inhale, bring your left palm to the outside of your right knee. Extend your right arm long, and as you exhale, very carefully begin to guide your right knee over to your left. Gaze out towards your right if that feels good, and then probably just the right toe is going to touch the ground. Think of your shoulders opening up towards the ceiling. Draw the left side of your low belly up towards the ceiling. Inhale, very carefully come back to center, hug both knees in, reset, and with your exhale, interlace your palms around your left shin, press through your right heel as you flex your right toes back, and press the back of the right leg onto the mat. Flex the left toes back, and then guide the left knee out and around the left ribs and in towards the left shoulder. And again, elbows hug in, down towards your left ankle, and notice how your shoulders begin to draw down into their sockets as you do that. Take an inhale breath, bring your right hand to the outside of your left knee. Extend that left arm long, very gently guide your left knee over towards the right. And wherever you are, whatever part of your body on that left side reaches the mat or the ground first, just allow it to rest there, probably a big toe. So then again, think of shoulders up towards the ceiling. Your gaze can be up towards the ceiling, or your gaze can be out towards that left hand, if that's accessible. And then think about drawing the belly button up towards the ceiling and the lower right abdominals up towards the ceiling. And then take an inhale breath, very carefully, gently come back to center, hug both knees in. And we're going to tabletop our legs. So we're going to stack knees directly over hips, create that tabletop with your shins. We're going to extend both arms out long. Oops, I'm going to have to move down. Extend both arms long overhead. Go ahead and bring your right hand to the front of your left knee. We're going to come into some dead bugs and press through your right heel, hover the right leg, and maybe lift the left fingertips. So I want you to press into your right hand with your left knee, press into your left knee with your right hand, and notice that abdominal engagement. If it feels better to lift your head, you can lift your head. Inhale, come back to center, bring that left hand to the right knee and switch it out. Extend the right arm long, thumb faces down, press through the left heel, flex all 10 toes back, and then give a good press into your left hand with your right knee, right hand with the left knee. Inhale, right palm to left knee, switch it out. Extend the left arm long, press through the right heel, draw your low back into the mat, and continue that press into the knee and into the hand. Switch it out. Inhale, center. Exhale, press. Inhale, switch it out. Firing up the muscles in our core that we're going to use to keep our low back safe throughout our practice today. Let's do one more each side. Inhale, right arm long, left leg long. Press, engage the abdominals. Exhale. Inhale, back through center. Extend the left arm long. Press. On our next inhale, hug both knees in. Maybe take a little rock side to side. And then go ahead and bring your feet down to the mat. Walk your heels in towards your hips, preparing for a bridge pose. Make sure your knees are coming in, that they're no wider than your feet. And then go ahead and bring your arms by your side, elbows pressing into the mat, palms facing up. And with your inhale breath, begin to peel your low back, and then each vertebra up off the mat as you lift your hips up towards the ceiling. Continue to hug the knees in towards one another, and then begin to press your elbows into the mat, fingertips continuing to press or reach up towards the ceiling. And then notice your shoulder blades begin to drop into their sockets, loop into their sockets, and press your chest up towards the mat. One more inhale, lift, draw your tailbone towards the back of your knees. And then exhale one vertebra at a time, slowly lower down. Okay, we're gonna flow through that again, and we're gonna add on, inhale, press into your heels, press into the backs of your arms, lift your hips, extend your arms long overhead. Now listen, as we exhale, we're gonna slowly roll down one vertebra at a time, begin to bring the arms back up over the shoulders, and then as you continue that exhale, we're gonna come up into a little bit of a crunch, lifting head, neck, and shoulders off of your mat, reaching your fingertips towards your heels. Let's flow that a few more times. Inhale, begin to surrender head, neck, and shoulders onto the mat. Extend the arms long overhead. Press into the heels, lift the hips, hug the knees in towards one another. Exhale, lower hips. One vertebra at a time comes down. And continue that exhale as you slowly roll up like a C, lifting the bottoms of your shoulder blades off the mat, reaching your fingertips forward. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, slowly lower down. Continue that inhale as you extend the arms long overhead. Press your hips up towards the sky. And then our exhale finds us beginning that movement into our crunch, lowering down one vertebra at a time, and then beginning to lift head, neck, and shoulders off the mat, reaching the fingertips forward. We're going to stay here. Inhale, exhale, lift a little bit higher, reach the fingertips forward, and inhale, surrender. Go ahead and hug your knees into your chest. You can cross your ankles, and we're going to rock and roll the length of our spine 3 times, and on the 3rd time, we're going to come into a tabletop pose. So find your joint organization here, so shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Toes can be tucked or untucked. I like to practice with my toes untucked, but that's up to you. Let's flow through a few rounds of cat-cow. Inhale, drop your belly, pull your palms back, draw your chest forward, lift your gaze to that spot where the ceiling meets the wall. And then exhale, press your palms into your mat. If your toes are untucked, press your shins into your mat as you come into your cat pose. And again, inhale, cow, pull your palms back, spread your collarbones wide, hug your shoulder blades down your back, lift your gaze. And exhale, cat pose, tuck around and curl, draw your chin in towards your chest, belly button back towards your spine, that spot between your shoulder blades up towards the ceiling. Inhale, cow pose, drop your belly, lift your gaze. And exhale, cat. Tuck around and curl. Press your palms into the mat. Inhale, come back to your neutral tabletop. We're going to come into a spinal balance flow here. So lift your right leg off the mat. Press through your right heel. Fire up the muscles in your right glute and your right quad. Take any dip out of your low back. So draw your belly button back towards your spine. Do your best to keep the heel in line with the hip. Inhale, extend the left arm long, gaze forward or just down at your fingertips, whatever feels better on your neck. Take an inhale, lengthen from fingertips to heel, and exhale, knee to nose, elbow to knee. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, lengthen, keep that dip out of your low back. Pull your belly button in. Exhale, tuck around and curl. Maybe you can draw that knee in a little bit closer. 1 more. Inhale like you're moving through mud. Press through the right heel. And exhale, draw it into center. Inhale, re-extend. And now with our exhale, we're gonna keep that heel in line with the hip, draw the right leg out to the right, left arm out to the left. Keep lifting your heel, extending your arm. One more inhale, exhale, hand down, foot down. I'm gonna turn and face you, but you stay where you're at. So the right foot is flat on the mat, right big toe in line with the left knee. Go ahead and ground your right hand underneath your left shoulder. Bring your left thumb to your left shoulder. Inhale, peel open, reach those left fingertips up, and exhale, thread the needle. So you're gonna bring left shoulder and left ear down to the mat, reaching for your left big, or your right big toe right there with your left fingertips. Option with this right hand, you can leave it right next to your face. You can walk it out if that feels good, or you can take a half bind if you'd like to take a half bind. So if you take the half bind, begin the twist from your mid belly. Think of those left ribs coming under and the right ribs spiraling open. Take another inhale here. Exhale, right hand back to the mat, back to the earth. Inhale, peel open. Exhale, both hands to the earth. And then inhale from your core, press through that right heel, come up, extend your arms out like a T. Drop your shoulders down into their socket as you exhale. Tuck your tailbone so the low ribs come up, or the hip points come up towards your low ribs. Exhale, gate pose. Walk your right hand down your right leg. Lift the left hand up towards the sky. Draw the left thumb back. Inhale, gaze up. Exhale, drop that right hand down. Inhale, back through center, arms like a T, and exhale, stretch in the opposite direction. Left palm down to the earth, right fingertips up, right thumb draws back, and as you press through that right heel, option for a deeper side body stretch, reaching those right fingertips up over your right ear. But again, think about your left ribs coming forward, right ribs drawing back. One more inhale, and then exhale, just sweep right fingertips down to the mat and come back into our tabletop pose. Okay, spinal balance on the other side with your shoulders stacked directly over your wrists. Inhale, extend left leg back. So again, press through that left heel. Feel the muscle in the left glute, left hamstring fire up, and bring that left heel in line with your hip. Now, take any dip out of your low back. Really fire up the muscles in your core. Inhale, extend your right arm long. This time, reach fingertips forward, press through your heel, and exhale, tuck round and curl, bird dog. Draw your knee in towards your nose, your elbow in towards your knee. Inhale as slowly as you can, lengthen, press through that heel, fire up the glute, fire up the core, and then exhale, tuck round and curl. How far in towards your face can you draw that left knee? One more. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, tuck round and curl. Inhale, lengthen. Now stay here, and as you exhale, left hand directly out from the left shoulder, left foot directly out from the left hip. One more inhale, exhale, right hand under right shoulder, and left foot finds the floor. And again, I'm going to turn and face you. Make your adjustments. Make sure that left knee, or right knee rather, left big toe are in a line. Plant your left palm underneath your shoulder, right thumb to the front of the right shoulder. Peel open, extend the right fingertips up towards the sky. Gaze up and back towards your right thumb, and then exhale, thread the needle. Come to the outside of your right shoulder, right ear finds the mat, right fingertips reach for the left big toe, and then again, this left hand can be flat next to your face, or if you'd like to take a half bind, take the half bind. Think of those right ribs peeling under towards the left side of your mat, and your left ribs peeling open and back. Take an inhale, And as you exhale, see if maybe you can peel that left shoulder open just a little bit more as you draw your belly button up towards the ceiling. Inhale, unbind if you have the bind. Exhale, left hand back to the mat next to your face. And inhale, unthread, reach those right fingertips back up. And then our exhale brings our right hand back underneath our right shoulder. Inhale, come up to your T. So arms, fingertips in line with fingertips. So like if I had a level, my arms are nice and straight. Loop your shoulders down and back into their sockets. Take an inhale, lift your chest up towards your chin. And as you exhale, gate pose, left fingertips walk down that left leg. Right fingertips come up towards the sky. So I'm hugging my tailbone under, drawing my low belly in, drawing my pelvic floor up, and then that left, or right thumb rather, comes back. Inhale back through center, and exhale, counter stretch. Right palm directly underneath right shoulder. Reach those left fingertips up. Again, draw your pelvic floor up, your belly button back, left thumb back. And if you'd like to take it further, stretch those left fingertips over towards the right. Keep your gaze up. One more inhale here. Feel that awesome stretch down the entire left side body. And then exhale. Swoop those left fingertips down and come back into your tabletop. All right, so from our tabletop, let's get this show moving. We're gonna bring our palms out about a palm's distance from where they were. Take your pinkies out towards the wider edges of your mat. Spread all 10 fingers wide and really press. Find a connection between your thumb and forefinger and the mat. Tuck your toes, hover your knees, draw your belly button back, in and up. And remember, keep that nice flat back here. Lift your pelvic floor, draw your belly button back, and then press your hips back towards your heels. Create that nice long extension in your upper body, and then press back into downward facing dog. So let's go ahead and shift forward with an inhale into a plank, and we should be able to stack our shoulders directly over our wrists here. So if you find that you're not in that position, just go ahead and move. And just like in any pose in our yoga practice, the beauty of being human and not being a tree is if we feel like we're not in the right spot, we can move and readjust. And then exhale, begin to press back into downward facing dog. Go ahead and take any movements that feel good in your body. Pedaling out your feet, maybe coming way up onto your tippy toes, bending your knees, drawing your belly back towards your thighs. And then again, focus on the upper arms. So spiraling the triceps down, biceps up. And then begin to find some stillness in your downward facing dog. So heels coming closer towards the earth. And for some of us, that looks like knees bent. And for some of us, our knees can be straight. It just, you want to not have any rounding in your low back. Inhale, gaze forward towards your hands, and exhale, slowly walk your feet back behind your hands. Let's go ahead and come into a ragdoll pose here. So hinging from your hips, knees as bent as you need. Let your head hang heavy. Draw your chin in towards your chest, and just begin to sway side to side. And when you do check-in, pelvic floor lift, draw your pelvic floor up, and your belly button back. Good. And then slowly release your fingertips on an exhale. And then you can keep your feet hips width, or you can toe heel, big toes in together towards one another to touch. And just slowly ragdoll your way up to standing, one vertebra at a time. And once you come up to standing, go ahead and loop your shoulders up, down, and back into their sockets. Bring your palms next to your hips. So pinkies in towards the hips, palms facing out. Find that nice opening in your shoulders, and then inhale, reach your palms up to Tadasana, mountain pose. And exhale, draw your thumbs to heart center, Samasthiti, bringing it back to center. Again, circle sweep, arms up. Inhale, Tadasana. And exhale, hinge from your hips. Uttanasana, forward fold. So knees as bent as they need to keep that nice flat back. Fingertips to the earth. Fold in half, draw your head in or your chin in towards your chest. Inhale, lift halfway, nice flat back. Palms can be on the shins. Create that upward facing dog in your chest, that cow pose in your chest. And then exhale, plant your palms, step back, high plank. So first high plank, official high plank of our class today. So go ahead and, again, shoulders over wrists, press into the palms, loop the shoulders down and back, press through your heels, draw your tailbone back. Inhale, shift forward, and exhale, slowly lower down to your belly. Release your toes. Inhale, cobra pose. Press your palms into the mat. Guide your tailbone back towards the backs of your knees and lift your chest. Open up your collarbones. Exhale, lower. Inhale, tuck your toes. Exhale, press up, high plank, and downward facing dog. Okay, we're gonna move that breath to movement 2 more times. Inhale, gaze forward, and exhale, step or float, feet behind your hands, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway, flat back, tight core. Exhale, fold, and inhale, Tadasana, mountain pose. Exhale, palms to heart center, Samasthiti. And take an inhale, circle, sweep the arms up. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway, flat back. Exhale, high plank pose. Inhale, shift forward from your knees or from your toes, chaturanga. Bend your elbows, pin them into your side body, hover. Inhale, flip to the tops of your feet, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, gaze forward, and exhale, step your feet behind your hands, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold, chin in towards your chest. Inhale, circle, sweep the arms, Tadasana, mountain pose, strong, firm legs. Exhale, palms to heart center, Samasthiti. Inhale, Tadasana, mountain pose, reach the fingertips up, draw the tailbone down. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen halfway, palms on your shins or fingertips on the mat if you can keep a flat back. Exhale, plant your palms, vinyasa. So if you're gonna come all the way down and come into cobra, go ahead and lower down to the belly. Otherwise, flow through your vinyasa if you practice chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog, chest wide. Exhale, downward facing dog. All right, let's get ready for our sun B, adding on a little bit more movement, some isometric toning. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, step your feet behind your hands. Inhale, lift halfway, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Utkatasana, everyone's favorite chair pose. Sit back in your imaginary chair. Drop your butt, press your shins back, draw your hip points back, and extend your arms up. If you can do so without shrugging your shoulders, otherwise bring your palms out in front of you at shoulder height with your pinkies turned in towards one another. Drop your tailbone, exhale. Inhale, gaze up towards your fingertips. Exhale, chair plane. Sweep your fingertips back, pinkies lifted. Engage your triceps. Hover your belly off your thighs. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Continue squeezing those inner thighs in towards one another. Exhale, chair, airplane arms. Swim the fingertips back. Lift through your triceps. Draw those fingertips in towards one another. One more time. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. I know it burns, it's supposed to. That's our legs getting stronger. Should feel this in your core as well. And exhale, swim those fingertips back. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Sit a little bit lower. And exhale, surrender, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, high plank. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Hover your chest, bend your elbows 90 degrees, pin them into your side body. Inhale, upward facing dog. Pull your palms back, spread your chest wide, gaze forward. And exhale from your core, downward facing dog. Take an inhale. Take an exhale. Inhale, extend your right leg straight back out of your right hip. Press through your right heel. Exhale, step your right foot between your hands. Getting ready for crescent lunge here. Stay up on your back toes. Make sure your feet are hip width distance apart. We don't want to be walking a tightrope, more like railroad tracks. And inhale, rise, crescent lunge. Take a bend in your back left knee, and as you do so, guide your tailbone down, your shoulders back over your hips, and then inhale, straighten through that back leg, stay low, crescent lunge. So imagine you're pressing into your right front heel, the right sole of your foot, and you're pulling your foot back, which draws that right hip back, and your left hip begins to pull forward. Continue to lengthen through the backside body, draw the front ribs down, take an inhale, and then exhale, open up, warrior two on the right hand side. So right knee is directly over the right middle toes. You want to think about this front right hip spiraling out, your tailbone tucks under, and your left hip spirals in. Give a good press into the left foot to fire up all the muscles in the left leg. Take an inhale here as you gaze out over your right fingertips. As you exhale, maybe you bend just a little bit deeper into that warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior. Walk your left fingertips down your left leg. Reach your right fingertips up towards the sky. Gaze up. Such a good side body stretch. Inhale back to warrior two. Exhale, extended side angle. Lengthen out of your side body. Legs stay the same. You can bring your right elbow to the inside of your right knee. As you guide your left fingertips up towards the sky, you can reach for your right ankle. If that feels good, continue pressing that right knee open. Inhale back to warrior two. And exhale, windmill your palms. Step back to high plank. And exhale through your vinyasa from your knees or from your toes. Whether you come into cobra or upward facing dog, do your best to open your chest, spread your heart forward, and exhale, downward facing dog. Take an inhale. Focus on your exhale. Inhale, extend your left leg straight back up out of your left hip. So notice my left leg isn't as high as I can get it. Rather, I want my hips to stay level. Press through that left heel, turn the left toes in towards the midline of your body, and exhale. Step your left foot forward, preparing for crescent lunge. So left knee is directly over the left ankle. Back heel is up off the mat. Inhale, reach the fingertips up towards the sky. And then again, as you exhale, bend into that left knee. Now make your adjustments. Bend into your right knee. Press into your left foot. Draw your left hip back. Press your right hip forward. Bring your shoulders over your hips. Draw the front ribs down. And then inhale, extend the arms over your shoulders. Your elbows can be bent, your elbows can be straight. Press through that right heel. One more inhale here in our crescent lunge. And exhale, open it up. Warrior two. So find that heel to arch alignment. Left heel in line with the right arch. Press into the pinky edge of your right foot. Hug the muscles of the right leg up like you're drawing that femur up into your hip socket. Open up the left knee, draw it out towards the pinky toe. Drop your tailbone down. Really feel that opening in your hips. And then inhale, extend your arms out. So as our arms extend out, our left ribs are coming forward, right ribs drawing back. Inhale, gaze over those right fingertips or left fingertips. Exhale, sit a little bit lower. Inhale, reverse warrior. Walk those right fingertips down the right leg. Reach the left fingertips up for that nice stretch down the side body. Inhale, back to warrior two. Exhale, extended side angle. Legs stay exactly the same. Hinge forward, elbow to knee, palm to ankle. Inhale, extend those right fingertips up. And as you do, those left fingertips spiral under, right, or left ribs spiral under, right ribs spiral open. Inhale, back to warrior two, and exhale, vinyasa. Or come directly to downward facing dog if vinyasa isn't doing it for you today. If your arms are tired from an arm workout, or if it just doesn't feel right in your body, skip it. Meet us in downward facing dog. All right, we're gonna flow breath to movement through that series 2 more times. We're gonna mix things up just a tiny bit, so we have to stay present, let go of any expectation of what's to come. Just like off our mat, the more you can let go of expectation on your mat, the more present you're going to stay. Inhale, gaze forward, and exhale, step your feet behind your hands. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, Utkatasana chair pose. We will not be here for as long this time, I promise. Drop your hips back, press back through your shins, and then begin to lift your upper body. Hug the knees in. Inhale, lift your chest up towards your chin, and exhale, sit just a little bit lower. Inhale, maybe bring those fingertips up a little bit closer to the sky, and exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, step back, high plank, vinyasa, or downward facing dog. So again, use your upward facing dog, your cobra, to open up your chest. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, step the right foot between the hands. Inhale, rise, crescent lunge. Make any adjustments you need as we breathe. Exhale, bend a little bit deeper into that knee. Inhale, gaze up towards your fingertips. Exhale, airplane arms, crescent lunge. Swim the fingertips back. Lift the triceps. Inhale, crescent lunge. Press all 4 corners of that right foot into the mat to steady you. Exhale, swim it back, crescent lunge, airplane arms. Lift your pinkies a little bit higher. Hover your belly off your thigh. Inhale, crescent lunge. And exhale, crescent lunge, airplane arms. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, open it up. Warrior two. Hug your shoulder blades in together. Exhale, gaze out over those right fingertips. Inhale as you make those adjustments with your legs. Exhale, extended side angle. So draw those right ribs underneath your body. Spiral open the left ribs. Inhale, reverse warrior. I hope everyone let go of expectation and stayed present. We did that out of order. Exhale, windmill your palms. Step back, high plank. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog on the inhale. And exhale, downward facing dog. Or simply skip the vinyasa and meet us in downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step it through. Low lunge, ankle directly underneath the knee. Inhale, rise, crescent lunge. Feet railroad tracks, not a tightrope. Exhale, swim it back, crescent lunge, airplane arms. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, crescent plane. Engage your triceps. Open up your chest. Hug your shoulder blades in towards one another. Inhale, crescent. This time as we swim it back, I want you to focus on your core. Draw your pelvic floor up, your belly button back. Hover. Inhale, crescent lunge. And exhale, open it up. Warrior two. If you feel like your shoulders are getting a little bit sore, flip your palms up, drop your shoulders into their sockets, hug the shoulder blades in, lengthen through the fingertips. On your next exhale, extended side angle. Legs stay exactly the same. Spiral the right ribs open, left ribs underneath and forward. Inhale, warrior two, reverse warrior. Exhale, windmill your palms. Step your left foot back to meet your right. Cycle through your vinyasa or meet us in downward facing dog. All right, we're gonna flow that one more time. And again, we're gonna mix it up a tiny bit this time. We're gonna leave our chair pose out this flow. I know everyone's super disappointed, right? Inhale, extend your right leg straight back out of your right hip. And as you exhale, step your right foot up next to your right thumb. Inhale, come up, crescent lunge. So now this time, I'm going to give us an option for a balancing posture here. And feel free to play around with the balance, even if you fall out of it. It's not a big deal, it's just yoga, it's like playtime. So we're going to continue that airplane flow. We're going to sweep our arms back, and as we do, and we hinge forward from our hips, we're either going to stay here in the airplane lunge, or we're going to bend the back knee, whoopsie, no big deal, and come up into full airplane pose. So both hip points are pointing down towards the floor. My back toes are flexed in towards my knee, and I'm pressing through that back heel as I lift through the inseam of that back leg. I'm finding that upward facing dog, that cow pose in my chest, and then I'm gonna drop that outer left hip as I shift forward into the ball mound of my right foot. And I am so wobbly today, you guys, and that is A-okay. Hold for one more inhale, and then very gracefully exhale back, crescent lunge. Inhale, open it up, warrior two. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, reverse warrior. And exhale, windmill your palms down to the mat. Find your high plank and flow through your vinyasa, or simply press back, downward facing dog. All right, last side. Inhale, extend your left leg straight back out of your left hip. Exhale, draw your knee in towards your chest as you step your left foot directly up towards your left thumb. Inhale, rise, crescent lunge. Exhale, swim it back, crescent lunge, airplane arms. Now you stay here for the hold, or bend into that back right knee, spring off into your left heel. Begin to straighten into that left leg. Press firmly through all four corners of that left foot. Now, slightly pigeon toe, the right toes in towards the midline of the body. Press through the right heel and lift through the right inseam. Drop the outer right hip. We don't want to open towards the right as you lift through the left right heel. Then extend your chest forward, upward facing dog in your chest. Engage your triceps, squeeze those left quadriceps. Exhale. And then inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, open it up. Warrior two. Inhale, Exhale, extended side angle. And inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, windmill your palms. Step back to high plank. And listen, we're all going to do this together with our inhale, shift forward. And as we exhale as slowly as you can, lower down to your belly. The entire front side of your body should arrive at the same time. Untuck your toes. Go ahead and bring your left ear down to the mat and just take a little break here for a moment. You've worked hard in our flow. We've stretched and strengthened our hips, our quadriceps, our hamstrings, and now we're going to work on strengthening these muscles that run down our spine. So this is also part of our core, and these muscles are so important in posture and in keeping our low back safe. So the first pose we're going to come into is locust pose. So slightly turn your big toes in towards one another. Press your big toes into the top of your mat. Bring your chin, I'm going to scoot back a little bit for you guys aren't going to be able to see. Bring your chin to your mat. Shalabhasana, go ahead and begin to peel your upper body up. Hug your belly button in, and again, find that airplane arms. Lift your triceps up towards the ceiling. Imagine you're holding a block or a bender ball between your palms as you lift your triceps. Inhale, lift just a little bit higher. Exhale, guide your tailbone back towards the backs of your legs. Press your big toes into the mat. And then inhale, slowly lower. This time bring your right ear to the mat. Bring your arms down by your side and just relax for a moment. Maybe you can feel your beating heart on the mat. Maybe you can hear your beating heart on the mat. Maybe it's that breath. Maybe it's deep. Maybe it's shallow. Maybe your heart rate is up. Be grateful for that heart, those lungs, and that body that can help you move this way. Inhale, chin back towards the mat. We're going to come into another variation of locust pose. Continue pressing the tops of the feet into the mat. Interlace your hands behind your back. Press your palms in towards one another if you can. And on your inhale, begin to peel your chest, your ribs off the mat as you continue to extend those knuckles back towards your heels. Now, if you're more advanced or if you'd like to play around, go ahead and lift your toes off the mat. Draw your tailbone back towards the backs of your knees, towards your ankles, and then squeeze your shoulder blades together. Maybe lift your heels. If this isn't right, bring your feet back down to the mat. It's not a contest. It doesn't matter. There's no trophies. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lengthen your tailbone back. Inhale, one more lift. Keep gazing forward. And exhale, lower. Bring your left ear back to the mat. And then maybe just begin to windshield wiper your knees side to side. All right, go ahead and release your feet back. Bring your palms under your shoulders, from your knees or from your toes. Tuck your toes, press up high plank and downward facing dog. So we're gonna flow a balancing posture, one more balancing flow, and then we're going to stretch and we're going to Shavasana. So inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, walk your feet, top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, fold. And inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Hug the knees in towards one another. Reach your fingertips up towards the sky. We're going to bring our right or left arm underneath our right in an eagle wrap. If that is not accessible, bring your palms to opposite shoulder. If it is, press your elbows into elbow, wrist into wrist, and then draw your elbows to shoulder height and really lengthen your elbows forward to open up the back. Ground through that right foot And go ahead and lift your left leg over your right. Either kickstand your toes here for eagle pose, Garudasana, or find the wrap. Bind your left toes behind your right. Guide your hips over to the right. Continue pulling your elbows forward. And as you sit back in your heels, I want you to imagine your back is flat against a wall. Squeeze your glutes, squeeze your joints together. And then listen, inhale, unbind. Exhale, step back, crescent lunge. Release your fingertips to the inside of your right foot. So I need to walk my right foot up because we're gonna come into a lizard stretch. So go ahead and walk your right toes, your right foot up towards the top right corner of your mat. Guide your right hip back, left hip forward. You can stay here or surrender down to your left knee, untuck your left toes, and go ahead and come down to your forearms if that's accessible, or if you have a block and you'd like to come down onto a block, that's another option. So we're stretching the front of our left hip flexor and we're stretching our outer right hip. So the front of the left hip flexor, outer right hip. I want you to check in before you get too comfy with your right knee and your right toes. So if you can see, my right knee is kind of hard to see, I know. My right knee is coming out towards the side, and that's fine. It's not a big deal. I just need to pivot on my right heel and make sure that my right middle toes are in line with my right knee. And then I can come down and settle in. So I want to think of lengthening my chest forward, drawing my tailbone back, and then if you want to take it a step further, go ahead and guide your chin in towards your chest and just let your head hang and feel this awesome opening in your hips. And if it doesn't feel awesome, that's okay too. If it's tough because the stretch is not a place where you necessarily want to be, I invite you to use your breath, focusing on the counts of the inhales and the exhales. However, if it's painful in any way, I want you to back it off. So walk the back knee in or come up onto your palms. You do what's right for you in this pose. So we want to feel a stretch, but we don't want to hurt ourselves. So your knee should not be hurting. Your hips should not be hurting. If you feel a stretch and that's a little bit uncomfortable, that's okay. Focus on your breath. Now, if your shoulders have started to come up towards your ears, guide your shoulders down and back into their sockets. Relax as much as you can. So you can either stay here, or if you'd like to take it into a quadricep stretch on the left, we're going to come back up to our palms. Make sure your palms are underneath your shoulders. Go ahead and extend your right arm out in front of you. Kick your left heel in towards your glute, and then begin to reach your right hand back behind you. Follow your right hand with your gaze. Reach for the outside edge of that back foot, and then begin to spiral open. So your left ribs come towards the right, your right ribs spiral open towards the ceiling, chest lifts towards your chin, and then maybe you can bend that knee just a little bit more, or maybe not. And maybe you can't reach your foot, and that's okay. Maybe you just reach back with that right hand. That's still an awesome opener for the front of that right quadricep. Or maybe you reach back and you feel like, I don't like this. Then come back into your lizard pose. Find what's right in your body. So one more inhale wherever you are. Exhale, if you have the foot in your hand, release it. Bring your right hand back to the inside of your right foot. Come up onto your left toes, and then just step your right foot back to meet your left, and come into downward facing dog. Pedal out your hips. Find anything that feels good. Bring the blood flow back into both hips. Hopefully you notice how different this downward facing dog might feel from the first downward facing dog. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, step your feet behind your hands, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose, preparing for eagle. On the left-hand side this time. So we're going to ground our left foot. We're going to bring our right arm underneath our left, cross at our elbows and our wrists. Lift the right leg, step the right knee over the left, and either kickstand your toes or find a little bind as you wrap those right toes behind your left shin. Draw your knees towards the front, so hips over towards the left. Sit a little bit lower, and then draw your elbows out at shoulder height and find the compression in your wrist and elbow joints. Find a spot that's not moving. Can you sit a little bit lower? Draw your shins back. Keep your arms as they are. Inhale, unbind the legs. Find that balance. Oh, it's okay if it's not perfect. And then as you exhale gracefully, find your way back into crescent lunge. And maybe that looks like dragging those right toes back on the mat. Maybe it looks like coming through that airplane. What is it for you? Unbind the arms. Bring the fingertips down to the inside of the left foot. Maybe walk that left foot up closer towards the left corner of your mat. Maybe surrender down onto that right knee. Untuck the right toes. Check in, knee and left toes. So if your left knee is splaying open, pivot on your right heel and allow your knee to be in line with your toes. If your knee hugs in, then your toes can face forward. Next layer, maybe you come down onto your forearms. And as you come down onto your forearms, we don't want our back to scrunch up. We want to lengthen. So think about lengthening from the crown of your head to your tailbone. Your chest draws forward. And then maybe with that length, the deepest expression of this posture is allowing your chin to come in towards your chest and your head just to hang heavy. And again, if there's any pain, please honor your body. Give yourself permission to back out of the posture so that the next time you want to practice yoga or the next time you want to do a workout, you're not injured and your body is able to do the workout that you want to do. So the point of this yoga is to stretch, to do some isometric strengthening, and to slow down and give ourselves this hour of breathing and movement to connect back to ourselves with nothing else going on. But if we try to push things, if we let our ego come into it and we push things that we're not quite ready for, or we think we should be able to do something today because we were able to do it yesterday, then that's how we end up hurting ourselves. So either stay here for the remainder of the posture, or if you took the corkscrew pose on the other side, come up to your palms, plant your right palm underneath your shoulder, extend your left arm out long, kick your right heel in towards your glute, and follow your right fingertips with your gaze as you reach back for the outside of your right foot. Now the corkscrew portion here is the right ribs drawing under, the left ribs peeling back, and then drop that left shoulder into its socket, and maybe you guide that right heel in towards your glute just a bit more. Draw your pelvic floor up, your belly button back. Inhale. Slow exhale. Inhale, release. Palms back to the mat. Tuck your back right toes. Step your left foot back to meet your right. High plank. And then downward facing dog. And this downward facing dog, let's come up onto our toes rather. Drop both heels over to the left. Inhale back up. And exhale, drop your heels over to the right. Inhale, back to downward facing dog. So this is going to be our last downward facing dog of our practice. I'm going to give us 5 more breaths here. If you want to pedal your feet, pedal your feet. If you want to take child's pose, take child's pose. If you want to continue coming up onto your tippy toes, dropping your heels to the right, and then dropping your heels to the left. You have 3 more breath cycles to do whatever feels right to you in this downward facing dog. One more cycle of breath. And on your inhale, gaze forward. And as you exhale, walk your feet through to a seat. Extend your left leg long. Bring your right foot over your left knee. And then you want to keep both sitting bones flat on the mat. We're going to come into a twist. More advanced or more flexible yogis are going to be able to bend this left leg. Bring the left heel in towards the right glute. Bring your right palm behind you. Inhale, extend that left arm long, and go ahead and reach the left elbow for the crook, or the crook of the left elbow for the right knee. I'm going to go ahead and extend this leg long. So in this posture, we want to think about decompressing the spine. So we're creating space in the vertebra here. So your gaze can be out towards the right, or if it feels accessible to you, you can gaze back over your right shoulder. And again, continue lifting your chest towards your chin, crown of your head towards the ceiling. Inhale, come back through center, and just take a very gentle counter twist in the opposite direction. Inhale, come back through center. And now we're going to bring the sole of this right foot to the inside of the left leg for Janu Shirshasana. So we're going to twist our chest towards those left toes. Flex the left toes back towards your chest. Inhale, extend your arms long. And then exhale, forward fold. Reaching your fingertips for your calf, for your ankle, for your foot. Whatever is accessible. And if you need to bend that knee to have a nice flat low back, bend your knee. Draw your shoulder blades down, and then think about chest coming towards upper thigh. And then lengthen your chest towards your toes as you flex your toes back towards your chest. Slow your breath. Drop your right shoulder in line with your left. And inhale, slowly come back up. Let's go ahead and switch that out. So this time we're going to extend the left leg, or the right leg, sorry. Bend your left knee and bring your left foot, sole of your left foot to the mat on the outside of your right knee. So again, if you bent, then the left knee on the other side, go ahead and bend the right knee on this side. If you kept it straight, keep it straight. Bring your left hand to the base of your spine. Really focus on opening that left shoulder. Inhale, extend your right fingertips up towards the sky. And then as you exhale, wrap the crook of your right elbow to the outside of your left knee. Gaze back beyond your left shoulder, if that's accessible. And again, think of lengthening. With each inhale, lengthen the crown of your head. Lengthen your chest towards your chin. And with each exhale,
deepen the twist. It might be the tiniest fraction of a millimeter of a twist, but think about left ribs peeling open, right ribs peeling over towards the left side of your mat. And very slowly with an inhale, come back to center. Bring your left elbow to your left knee and just find a very gentle counter twist over towards the right. All right, inhale back through center. Sole of the left foot to the inside of the right leg. Inhale, extend your arms, find that nice flat back. And exhale, hinge forward from your hips, reaching for your calf, your ankle, or your feet. So drop your shoulders down. Bend into your knee as much as you need, taking you rounding out of your low back. So we don't want to be like this. We want to be lifted, toes back towards the chest towards the toes, and then begin to settle into the stretch. And notice my head comes nowhere near my leg, and that's okay. And maybe your head could rest on your leg. That's awesome. Do what's right in your body. Give your right quadricep a squeeze and drop your left shoulder in line with your right. Inhale, slowly roll up. Extend both legs long in front of you, and with straight legs or bent knees, extend your arms out and slowly roll down onto your back. Once you arrive on your back, go ahead and hug your knees in towards your chest. Reset your spine, rock side to side if that feels good. And we're going to just come into a gentle twist. Cactus your arms, bump your hips to the right. Allow your knees to fall to the left. Gaze towards the right. Inhale, slowly come back through center. Neutralize your spine. And then exhale, bump your hips to the left as your knees come to the right. Keep the backs of both shoulders on the mat. Snuggle your shoulder blades in towards one another. And then inhale, come back to center. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Layer one, you stay here, compressing your knees in towards your chest as you do your best to keep your tailbone low back flat on the mat. Layer two, dead bug, happy baby pose. Draw your knees to the outside edges of your ribs as you reach for the outer edge of each foot. Soles of the feet up towards the ceiling, toes back towards the shoulders, maybe just a gentle rock from side to side. And wherever you're at, thank yourself for showing up on your mat today, for taking this time for yourself to truly give back to yourself in so many ways. Physically, to support your body. We strengthened our core, we strengthened our back, we strengthened our legs. We stretched those same areas. We stretched our hips, we stretched our core, we stretched our legs. And our mind perhaps got the biggest workout as we breathed and did our best to let go of expectation. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Curl yourself up into a tight, tiny little ball. Take the deepest, biggest inhale of gratitude for yourself here. And with an open mouth exhale, send some love out to everybody, especially yourself, as you find your Shavasana. So if you have the gift of some extra time, I am going to ask you to stay in Shavasana for as long as you'd like. I want you to think about relaxing your fingertips. And for some of us, that means fingertips falling in towards our palms, and for some of us, it means fingertips falling towards the ground. I want you to think about relaxing your shoulders. And that might mean that the crown of your head needs to lengthen towards the back of your mat, that you need to press into the back of your head a little bit, snuggle your shoulder blades in towards one another, and then surrender onto the mat. Let your toes splay out. Let your low back lay flat on the mat. And take a quiet mind and a quiet body as you come back to the natural rhythm of your breath. Let everything be heavy on your mat. Your eyes are heavy in their sockets. Your tongue falls away from the roof of your mouth. And let the thoughts come and go from your mind, not holding on to any single thought. If you can stay for longer, please stay in your Shavasana for longer. If you'd like to join me, just begin to wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, and deepen your breath as you rock your head from side to side, finding that nice massage for the back of your skull. Extend your arms long overhead as you stretch your toes forward. Hollow your belly as you press your low back into the mat. And then bend your knees. Roll to your right side. Left palm on the earth. And then carefully press up to a cross-legged seat with your eyes closed. Go ahead and bring your thumbs to your third eye center, reminding us to have patience and calmness in our thoughts today with ourselves and with everybody that we're trapped at home with. Because sometimes patience is the most difficult task. Bring your thumbs to your lips, reminding us to have kindness and patience in our words. And our thumbs to heart center, just reminding us to have patience and kindness with ourselves as much as with others. Thank you so much for showing up and practicing with me today. Have an awesome rest of your Monday or whatever day it is for you. Namaste. Bye, friends.